Hey, it's Zach. Welcome back to zachbealetv's Analog Hour. I'm still sick. Y'all can probably hear it in my voice. It's one of those sicknesses where, like, your brain is so cloudy, everything takes, like, 3 times longer to do. But tonight, we're checking out, finally, Monument Mythos. Now, this is a series that we've watched and dabbled in it a little bit before, like, out of order. But I never really knew what the hell was going on. And I want to sit down because they have all of Season 1 in a playlist. And I want to check it all out and maybe try to figure out, you know, the story behind it, because it looks so interesting. So shake my hand. And let's check it out. The first video is called The Monument Mythos. This is the Season 1 teaser. Let's check that out. Quite dramatic with the music. Okay, that one fell off. Oh, where'd the lady on top of the thing go? There she is. Hi, how you doing? Some of what I say might not make sense, but it will make sense to me because I'm sick and my brain's not working the right way. The Monument Mythos. Okay, let's go. Okay, this one's called Liberty Lurker. I think this has something to do with the Statue of Liberty. Have y'all ever been to the Statue of Liberty? I have. And it's not as impressive as you would think. Same with Mount Rushmore, man. It's not that cool. The following audio is an excerpt from a 1889 interview with the what now? With the designer of the Statue of Liberty. Okay. Frederick Auguste Bertholdi. The pedestal. Although the statue was intended to be a gift, the U.S. ambassador urged us to follow President Grant's requests. Okay. We agreed, and each month we received varying size requirements for the pedestal. Like the pedestal that the lady detached from. After 4 years, requests to change the size of the pedestal ceased. People wonder why the pedestal is so much taller than the lady. All I tell them is, ask the Americans. Hey, I had nothing to do with that personally, so don't ask this American. In 1949, the statue underwent extensive renovations. The official blueprint behind the changes was classified for 36 years. Okay, provide entrance for sustenance. Install, Oh! Engine? Oh, so there's like stuff in the pedestal? Yeah, it is a lot bigger than the statue itself, isn't it? Axle? Wheels? She gonna drive away? What the hell are the wheels there for? Entrance? Stairs. I read something too online that people drain. That people used to be able to go in the Statue of Liberty. I remember seeing something like that. Like people up in the little flame thing, the little torch. Maybe I'm tripping. During the summer of 1954, thousands of immigrants described a foul odor while passing through Ellis Island. Ellis Island was awful. The whole place reeked of flesh, like a slaughterhouse. There were also dead birds everywhere. My sister even found one in the toilet. Yeah, Ellis Island is the little island that the Statue of Liberty's on. You need to, like, take a little ferry or something to even get to it. I didn't know that until I went to it. If this is how bad the coast is, my father said, imagine how bad the cities smell. I remember hearing other families half-jokingly say that they wanted to return to Milan because of the smell. Okay. My family had sprayed perfume and burned candles to keep the stench away, but it would only work for an hour or so until the air became unbearable again. The evenings were so hot, I stayed mostly awake, even though the rest of my family slept soundly. Good for them. I remember looking out the window each night and seeing lines of people being led to this Liberty statue by officials. And they would go into the pedestal, the officials would leave, and nothing else would happen. So they would never come back out? Is that what you're saying, Eleonora? The following morning would smell so much worse, like a slaughterhouse. They were bringing them in there to get got. The Ellis Island Immigration Station closed the following August 1985. First sighting of the Liberty Lurker. Yeah, she's moving. So those wheels... Hell no. Upon investigation, local authorities likened the waste storage compartment to a mass grave. If you have family members who were last seen at Ellis Island between the years 1949 and 1954, you may be entitled to compensation. No, I think I'm entitled to some answers, you fucking assholes. Damn. Damn. Okay, so something's coming out of the bottom of the statue. Those wheels were built there, not so she could drive away like my dumbass was saying, but so she could move and something could come out of the top. Creepy. Speaking of Mount Rushmore, this one's called Rushmore Revenge. Let's check this one out. August 7, 2003, the National Park Service finds the Mount Rushmore National Memorial vandalized. The U.S. government can fund mass murder if it's labeled a national monument. Damn. Okay, so how are they using this to fuck people up? Everyday executions occur in 2,600 American landmarks. At Mount Rushmore, the blood of liberty will be avenged. Okay, they're talking about the statue, but how are they using Mount Rushmore? The souls of Lincoln will be freed. Are they putting them inside Lincoln? Because I know if I remember correctly, Lincoln like had a body that was half built, right? They just stopped building the fucking Mount Rushmore. More messages are found on Mount Rushmore, August 14th. Infection? That's what I got, bro. Right now, all up through here, kill me. I will introduce infection next week, Monday through Sunday, 10, 12, 10, 13. Wait, what'd that say? Watch the symptoms. We're gonna introduce infection? To who? August 18, 2003, due to security concerns, the National Park Service assigns patrols. The patrols are told to videotape all anomalies from 10:12 to 10:13. Monday. Okay, bit of an observation duty. Every time I hear the word anomalies, man, I can't not think of that damn game. This is so creepy. Like, imagine being here at night and seeing these. It's not as big as people think either. When you go there in real life, it's like, that's it? Let's see, who's that? That's George Washington on the left. I don't know my presidents, y'all, so don't get on me. Right? That's George Washington. There's a blinking light. That's Morse code or something. Right? That's George. Is that Theodore Roosevelt? The third one, that's Theodore. And then the second one, I don't know who that is. And then Lincoln all the way on the right. Right? Guys, I was homeschooled. Don't get on me now. Don't like that noise. Lincoln looks like he's looking at us, bro. Chill out. Thursday. There's something up there. Oh, Friday. Let's have a look. Ew, why does it look like his eye moved? Y'all see that? Look like a tree to me. Saturday. Remove lens cap. Bro left the lens cap on. He's missing probably the best footage. Things probably flying around up there. We're like, Sunday. What the hell was all that? Mount Rushmore smells like baby powder. I think it comes from the stuff that the workers put on the heads. Yeah, I see them do it all the time. They go from Washington to Lincoln every night powdering it like a baby. Do they? Hannah McElroy, local photographer. What were all those spikes, bro? These bitches hedgehogs? Rushmore Revenge. Okay. This is, y'all, this is starting to creep me the fuck out. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Alcatraz Attack is the next one. What's Alcatraz again? Isn't that those mazes underground? I sound like an idiot right now, don't I? It's the island with the crazy people on it, y'all. I'm sorry. You gotta forgive me, man. You gotta forgive me. Hey, at least I recognized it. Alcatraz Island 2 days before therapy. Didn't know Alcatraz Island needed therapy. Map of Pacific Branch, United States Military Prison, Alcatraz Island. Oh boy, we got a map of the island. Fortifications. That's a little bit of a tunnel right there. Reservoirs. Water tower. You need a drink. Morgue. If you pass away. Stockade slash... Excuse me, y'all. Detector shed. What they do in the detector shed? Main prison. Ruins? Question mark? They don't even know. They're like, yeah, maybe. Tennis court. That's nice of them. What the hell was that? Okay, anyway. Alcatraz Island 1 day before therapy. What is this therapy? What does this therapy entail? Alcatrazosis. Who the fuck are those things? Ew. That's the main prison, right? What the fuck is that? Excuse me? Okay, is it the day of therapy? Radiation therapy. Now, why the hell? For what purpose? Projected movement. Okay, we'll stop projecting. 1950. 1955. 1960. 1965. Okay, so is that the island spinning around? 1980. Oh, no. What the fuck is... What? 2000. What the hell? Is this like the main city? Damn, by 2040, 45, all y'all in a black hole. One day after therapy. So do you feel better mentally? I thought he started shaking his head at me. What the hell? Wait. Is that a bunch of Alcatraz islands? Or am I tripping? As of 2020, the Alcatraz zone extends to West Texas. What the hell was all that? Were they ships? Was it Alcatraz? It looked like copies of the Alcatraz. Okay, this one's called Dean Democracy. I don't know what that entails, but let's find out. Dean Democracy. A look back at America's 37th president. Who was that?
During a program of ABC Evening News, anchor Peter Jennings told viewers to look forward to next week for a special broadcast of national significance. Jennings would continue to remind viewers of the special broadcast over the next 7 nights, even referring to it at one point as the most unprecedented announcement in recent history.
You better not be capping. Like, I better be...
A week after its first mention, Jennings reminded viewers of the special broadcast one last time, asking them to pay attention later that night for an exclusive look at the greatest gift to the American people. Due to the anticipation built over the week, Over 60 million Americans tuned into ABC,
yeah, I'd be
waiting for the evening news to end and for the special broadcast to begin.
Waiting.
There were countless theories as to what would occur, from the announcement of alien life to the declaration of an all-out nuclear war. Speculation was brewing intensely. Once the evening news program ended, a black screen with a 10-second countdown commenced with the title Dean Democracy.
Okay.
Some viewers, so terrified of the threat of nuclear war, reportedly experienced nervous breakdowns and ran down the street, declaring that Dean Democracy was the code name for an all-out nuclear holocaust. Yet once the countdown ended, all fears were soon replaced with tears of joy and an excitement not seen since the end of World War II.
What are we waiting for? Let's bring them back home.
Dean for president.
In the seconds following James Dean's presidential announcement, hundreds of thousands of neighborhoods erupted into celebration. Although other candidates had promised to end the Vietnam War, none had so accurately expressed the same anger that they had felt, which Dean had perfectly conveyed in a 15-second broadcast. Due to popular demand, the ABC Evening News was canceled the next night, replaced by a 30-minute loop of James Dean's presidential announcement. The broadcast was watched again by over 38 million Americans.
Darn.
And the parties continued for the rest
I
of the
really
week.
just said darn. I was hoping for something a little more, I don't know, insane. I'd be sitting there like, oh, okay, he's running for, okay. That's just me, y'all.
Due to repeated assassination attempts on Robert Kennedy, the Democratic Party presidential debates were canceled for the 1968 election season. However, this proved to be no issue for Dean, as polls indicated that he was in the lead for the entirety of 1967 and 1968.
Yeah, I don't think Nixon has a chance, bro.
Having had fewer public appearances and rallies than any other candidate.
Never mind. Wallace going crazy up there.
The strength of his campaign relied on the powerful advertisements he directed that would air every Friday evening on ABC. The series of programs would be considered by many as another weekly TV series, and went on to become the highest-rated TV show on television after the conclusion of Star Trek in 1967.
Wait, isn't Star Trek still
Although
going?
A presidential debate was eventually scheduled 2 weeks before the election, James Dean instead invited opponent Richard Nixon to a track to race cars on the same night. Although reluctant at first, Nixon eventually agreed and went to spend the entire day with Dean.
The boys having a good time.
The actor, "To hell with it. I'm voting for you. You're already a better president than I'll ever be."
Damn!
This statement, although only a rumor, would spread like wildfire in tabloids and permanently curbed Nixon's chance for victory. On the morning of November 1st, 1968, 4 days before Election Day, anti-Dean groups hijacked radio channels and told civilians they were fed up with James Dean and that television was ruining American youth. After the broadcast, the groups went on to cut hundreds of power lines in the southeast, effectively preventing any of Dean's presidential ads from reaching any household below Tennessee. Dean quickly heard of the incident, and despite the risk of an assassination, flew down to the south and quickly went to work with local electricians to repair the broken power.
What a legend, bro! Up there on the electrics?
With a supportive crowd, primarily younger voters who were eager to see a younger face back in the White House.
The Riz Master.
White conservatives, often the parents of the younger supporters, remained in their houses and occasionally peered through their window blinds to catch a glimpse of the handsome candidate. Although it wasn't known to Dean at the time, hate groups in the South had perpetuated the idea that he was Satan in disguise.
Dean is Satan.
His good looks and his love for jazz as being clear signs of the devil.
Good looks and love for jazz? What the hell? What does that have to do with anything? James Dean's America, 1960. Oh, no. What went wrong? Maybe this is like an ad campaign against him, right? There it goes. Yeah. The Anti-Dean Association? They hate that motherfucker.
Elderly white conservatives in the Southeast would be the only demographic unfazed by his campaign. Yet Dean continued to travel from state to state, repairing power lines for 4 days straight until the very morning of the election. On November 5th, 1968, James Dean received 75% of the popular vote with 395 electors.
He would have had my vote, bro.
Nixon congratulated Dean in a phone call the following morning, but Dean refused to acknowledge the win and instead asked to race cars again at the track.
What a legend.
On January 20th, 1969, James Dean held his inaugural address at the official Capitol Raceway. Although presidents in the past had speeches that were typically around 20 minutes, Dean spoke for less than a minute.
Short and sweet.
I have a speech, and it has the flotsam that you people expect to hear. But that's not fair. No, that's not fair at all. I'm here for all of you. It's only fair that you speak for yourselves. My words shouldn't be louder than yours. So I brought many other guests to speak. They're just people like you and I. In the same time that many other presidents have spoken by themselves, America will speak. Thank you.
Legendary speech, bruh. Legendary.
Dean proceeded to introduce many groups to the microphone, including civil rights activists and Native American families. Martin Luther King Jr. would also come forward to
Let's
speak
go,
his first
bruh!
appearance since an attempt on his life 9 months prior. President Dean would conclude the inauguration with a brief bongo performance and went on to race Richard Nixon at the track.
Dude, this guy was a fucking legend!
Those who disagreed with the elected president would instead celebrate Dean Democracy Day and protested by watching Dean's unique take on the address in place of the actual one.
His unique take?
In a televised address, President Dean planned to inform Americans of his first 90 days in office. However, 6 seconds into the broadcast, the audio cut out and remained absent for the remainder of the speech.
And who did that?
Although anti-Dean groups claimed responsibility and took pride in the sabotage, many civilians claimed that it benefited the president. The silent broadcast highlighted President Dean's sincere facial expressions and lively disposition, as opposed to the stern and stiff personalities of prior administrations. Viewers were proud to see a man in his prime at the most important position in the country. Ironically, President Dean's popularity grew after the technical difficulty, and film director Stanley Kubrick went on to call the broadcast the greatest silent film ever made.
Dude, this anti-Dean group is just fucking themselves over in every way possible. They cut the power lines, he went back, he was up on the power lines fixing them. Bro, the second I saw that, he would have had my vote 1,000,000%. Dean Democracy, a look back at America's 37th president. Damn. Okay, now how does that tie in to the rest of this story? Let's find out. This one's called Air Force One Angel. That's kind of creepy. We got angels up on flights now, outside the windows. On August 17, 2003, Air Force One made an unannounced trip across the continental United States. Many civilians claim to have seen the aircraft drop packages on various national monuments. They're dropping fucking supply drops on the president's head, on the Statue of Liberty. I see how it is. Damn, Alex, bro, you fucking killed it with this one, dude. By the way, I know you've heard it 1,000,000 times, but this is just incredible. There you go, dropping one package off. There goes my home state of Virginia right there. Oh, there we go, dropping. That's the San Francisco bridge, right? I probably got that wrong. Uh-oh, what's happening? Look. And we're coming right back. There's a statue. Wait a damn minute, y'all. Look at the black orb growing. Oh no, Texas! Florida looks good though. Florida, we look fine. We look fine for now. Let me know if y'all are dead. Wherever you are on the map. I don't know what that means though. The circular orbs. Who's getting off this plane? Don't zoom in like that. I'm scared. Ooh, you see him peeking out? Come on out. Ew! Stop! You're scaring me, dude. What the fuck? White House officials later disclosed that the unusual flight of Air Force One was unauthorized and unmanned. The lone figure, dubbed the Air Force One Angel, has yet to be identified. They're in on it, bro. The government's in on that shit. There's no way they would just let that happen. No way. No way. This one's called Lincoln Looker. A bit of a looker, a bit of a Lincolner. Let's check it out. There's the Capitol building, I think.
I was a Lincoln Looker for 2 weeks.
What does that entail, Maya?
It was terrifying. One moment you're at home answering the door, and the next you're stuck in some kind of suit. The smell was awful in there, and the metal seat was so cold.
Wait a minute.
The only thing you can do is look through 2 little holes.
Are these people who sit inside of that fucking Lincoln statue in the Capitol building? That's the creepiest shit I've ever heard in my life. If that's what this is.
Mask, and whenever the sun shined near, I could see the inside of it.
Uh-huh.
It was a familiar face. Every few nights, straws would be put through the holes, and someone would feed me some weird soup. After 2 weeks, they found out that they had misidentified me, and I wasn't the correct Lincoln Looker.
Uh-huh.
Reagan apologized to me personally, and I was released with some monetary compensation.
Well, that's good at least, right?
I don't care if I talk about it or not. No one would take me seriously. Lincoln looking is just too absurd.
I'm getting freaked out, bro, just by hearing just the word Lincoln Looker. It's like, what's he looking at me for, bro? Hi. So this is Maya sketched that out. Leonard.
There's always that someone that we dislike more than everyone else. Not usually famous or important, but they've done something that's affected this person.
Uh-huh.
Often you're the only person who remembers this act. And I've been that bad, but memory hurts.
Yep.
Everyone experiences this, and the president is no exception.
For sure.
Except he can do something about it.
Yes, he can.
The president can choose one person to be a Lincoln Looker. After the alibi is fabricated, the person is abducted from their home, and they stay a Lincoln Looker for as long as the president sits in office. Nobody can question his decision, and it's no trial.
That's 4 years minimum, bro.
But it's nothing new. It's been a tradition. Lincoln Lookers have been around for a very long time.
If this is what I think it is, due to rumors that Lincoln Lookers were imprisoned behind presidential portraits, White House officials publicly removed and reinstalled the portraits to demonstrate that no space was... I don't think it's the portraits, though. I think it's literally that statue. Yeah, I'm not buying it. Not buying it. Howard.
Hello, we are not available now. Please leave your name and phone number after the beep. We will return your call.
Hey, Eunice. It's Howard.
Hi.
I don't know what I just saw. I was at the top of the steps, reading the inscriptions and talking to visitors, when I started to hear a faint scratching sound. I didn't think much of it at first, but when I got close to the chair, I realized that the scratching was coming from inside the marble. So I went to a guard and asked whether she could do anything about animals that could be trapped in there. She told me not to worry about it, and that they'd take care of it once there were fewer visitors. A few minutes passed, and the scratching became much louder. I went back to the guard and asked what kind of animals usually got stuck in there, and she said, wild animals. The sound started to make visitors anxious. I remember one boy pulling so hard at his mother's hand, begging to leave. A blind girl with one of those canes went up to the chair and pressed her head against it to listen. Then she started crying.
Oh my gosh.
Her parents tried to pull her away, but she just began to hit the chair with her cane. That's when the guards asked everyone to go back down the steps. I don't know why, and it's going to sound crazy, but I felt compelled to help.
Yeah.
So I went to the blind girl and joined her in hitting the marble. The guards tried to pin us down, but the scratching became too loud for even them. It sounded like someone was shaving down a chalkboard. Eventually the marble began to crack, and a few more hits caused the crevice to expand all the way to the top of the chair. There was a sudden burst of air from the damage, and the head suddenly turned toward us. I was afraid it would fall, so I picked the girl up and went down a few steps.
Sorry, I'm quiet. I'm just...
The head slowly rotated back into place, and when it started to be pushed upwards, I took out my camera.
Let me see.
There was no wild animal.
Oh, boy. I'm just so invested right now. Forgive me, y'all. Howard Melrose recorded the following images. That is so creepy, man. That is so creepy. Ew. Yeah, there we go with that shit again. What is going on? This next one's called Washington Wormhole. Bit of a silly name. I've always found that word funny. Wormhole. It's like, what even is that?
Fell swiftly as the lumberjack swung, except for the special tree, which could not be stung. She missed her friends and the hymns they sung, so she started a tune that broke the man's lung.
Is this Mr. Creepypasta? This voice sounds so familiar. Timeline of events. Okay. 18. There's the tentacle things. First photograph of the special tree. Because we saw those like tentacly branch thing coming out of the Mount Rushmore, coming out of the Statue of Liberty, coming out of the Lincoln statue. Construction begins. What the fuck are we constructing? Wait, are they constructing around the special tree? Because isn't that the base of the Statue of Liberty? Construction halts due to the American Civil War. Prisoners of war are seen being led into the unfinished tower. No. This dude's over here rewriting American history, bruh, and I'm believing every second of it. Not the fucking... What is that? The National Monument, right? Oh, it was the monument they were building. I'm an idiot. Okay, so it's inside the monument. Visit the Washington Monument and listen closely. Hear the music within its walls. Became a major tourist attraction. Every time I go to DC, I'm like, what the fuck? What if that thing fell? Like one day it was really windy. I was like, what if it... Can't you go up in it too? I've never been up in that, but that'd be fun, right? 1910 through 1971. Is that how many people went missing? 20 individuals disappear while visiting the Washington Monument. How can, like, no, that we can't just brush that off. Washington absentees. It can't be that hard, or it can't be hard to, no, it can't be that hard to get lost inside of that fucking monument. It's not that big, right? Washington Standard Operation. A classified film centered in Washington is leaked by the news agencies. Okay. Classified, y'all. Let's see. See? Okay, so that's a person right there, right? Open the monument. Are they gonna hop in a bucket? Hoisting cable. Yay. Lots of fun, eh? Sound waves. Is the music they're talking about? Oh ho ho ho! Whoa. Okay. He's gonna walk in and see his boy. What the fuck? So they're killing people inside the monument. 2000. Oh boy. This is the year I was born. What the fuck is going down? The infection is nigh. The music of Washington will end? Yeah, that's what that says. The music of Washington will end. So what the hell happened after that? 2003. What is this? Don't tell me we're inside the monument. We're outside the monument. Okay. Ew, come on now. With the tentacle shit. What the hell? Is the monument bending? What kind of jello-ass monument? What the fuck is going on? All 19 Washington absentees are found unconscious at the base of the monument. Wait, they found them all? I thought it was 20 though. Wasn't it 20? What happened to the last dude? This one's called Delaware Double. Don't tell me they cloned Delaware. I think one is enough, right?
An accidental discovery made by two fishermen has sent shockwaves across the nation.
Oh.
Around 4 p.m. on Christmas Eve, Ralph Grassman and Michael Tillon were reeling in the last batch of catfish when something on the ice caught their eye. It looked like a bicorn, one of those hats from way back when, said Grassman, the others of the two who had also organized the trip. Grassman walked down the ice to retrieve the hat. When he pulled back the hat from the ice, tumbled back in shock at the sight of a human scalp, partially exposed in the ice. Tillon walked over and after a brief discussion with Grassman, agreed to remove the rest of the body from the ice. The effort took several hours, but by 10 p.m. the fishermen were able to pull the entire body from the ice with no further damage. Although both men had presumed that the individual was already dead for some time, Tim exclaimed in shock when he reportedly saw the individual's eyelid twitch.
No.
Grassman suggested to immediately take the body home in an attempt to revive the frozen man. They proceeded to carry it back to Grassman's apartment. They laid the body in a full bathtub, gradually raising the water's temperature throughout the night to prevent shock.
Smart.
Grassman claims to have learned this technique from a pulp magazine he had read as a child. At 2 a.m. the following morning, Tillon claimed that an individual briefly regained consciousness and shouted, "Victory or death," while Grassman rested in the living room.
I'd be like, chill out, man!
The frozen individual appeared to have relapsed into a deep coma, which prompted Grassman to phone the local authorities. And that's why he hadn't called medical personnel earlier. Grassman told reporters that he didn't want to risk the lives of the first responders, who had been driving on slippery roads in the dark. Shortly after being phoned, paramedics arrived and rushed the frozen man to the Delaware State Hospital. Throughout the experience, both fishermen thought that the individual's face seemed vaguely
Is it a president?
It's only when Tillon pulled out a dollar bill that the connection was fully made. When we first dug him out, we moved his clothes so that we could carry him more easily. Clothes weighed a ton because they were completely frozen over. But I bet if we saw the clothes without ice, then we could have no doubt that we dug out George Washington.
They dug out the boy!
Although Delaware State Hospital has declined to comment on the identity and the condition of the man, Grassman brought up the bicorn hat from the previous days of the Delaware History Museum, where historians confirmed to be an authentic piece from the 18th century. The validation raised more questions than answers, as further research revealed that no Washington reenactors or artifacts have been reported.
They're gonna cover that shit up so quick.
Grassman believes that the man he dug out from the ice is the true George Washington, and that the former president had become gravely ill while crossing the Delaware River. Grassman claims that the imminent death of Washington could have been devastating to the war effort, so his condition was likely kept secret by having a double acting as the president until 1797.
I believe that.
And asked for an explanation to why the body had been found so far from the site of the battle, Grassman replied, either drifted away or his men purposely planted it far away so that no one could find it. During Saturday's morning press conference, President Dean shared his thoughts on
Let's hear what Dean's got to say, bro.
I'm surprised.
That's it? I mean, fuck, I would have said the same damn thing. Not gonna lie. So that's what that meant. They found a double, well, not a double, the real George Washington in a Delaware River. And they had a body double pretending to be George Washington for years. What the fuck? Okay, this next one's called Rockefeller Tree Tragedy. Let's see. A recollection of the tragedy by John D. Rockefeller. Virginia in Wonderland by Virginia. Okay. You remember that book, Yes, Virginia, There is a Santa Claus, or something like that? I used to think they were talking about the state.
During the first winter of the center's construction, the workers set up a Christmas tree just outside the entrance.
Beautiful.
It was an uncanny sight to see a green fir stand in the middle of what appeared to be a no-man's land. But this tree, humbly ordained with strings of cranberries, buttons, and tin cans, greatly affected me. It demonstrated that even in the darkest of times, the American people will light the beacons of hope.
Amen.
I thought it could be the start of a great and inspiring tradition, so I traveled north to Babylon in search of a Christmas tree for the following year.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me more. Oh, Virginia's gonna tell me more. Yeah, there we go. Okay, Virginia. What's happening here?
For 12 days and 12 nights, Mr. Rockefeller looked for the best tree in the forest. How about this one, Mr. Rockefeller? No, it's much too short. How about this one, Mr. Rockefeller? No, it's much too tall.
Yeah, a little bit.
How about this one, Mr. Rockefeller? No, it's much too average. Mr. Rockefeller soon feared that he would leave empty-handed. Then, on the 12th night, just as he was packing up his stuff, Mr. Rockefeller heard the sweetest tune in the air. It sounded as though the very wind itself had fallen in love. He and his men followed the song and found themselves at the base of a very, very special tree.
That's that damn tree!
It's perfect.
No!
The men swung their axes at the special tree. Chop, chop, chop. However, when the sun rose, the tree was still standing.
No shit.
Their axes had left no marks at all. Mr. Rockefeller was surprised.
I'm not.
Next day, Mr. Rockefeller and his men laid 100 sticks of dynamite around the tree.
You're gonna destroy the fucking tree.
2, 1, boom! Yet, the special tree continued to stand. Mr. Rockefeller was surprised. So Mr. Rockefeller decided to hire the best team of grave diggers to take the tree out of the ground. After a week of digging, they told Mr. Rockefeller the tree will be out in 3 years at this rate.
Keep digging.
Mr. Rockefeller was surprised, but he decided to let the grave diggers work. He would pick the next 3 best trees for the next 3 Christmases. But by the 4th year, the special tree was ready to display.
Damn. 3 years later. 3 years later. Okay. So, Mr. Rockefeller, want to tell me why you made those poor men do that shit for 3 years straight?
For the last 2 years, I have seldom mentioned the tragedy that occurred at the center. Many have taken offense at my silence, claiming it to be the result of a desensitization to workplace accidents. Indeed, I have seen enough accidents in 3 lifetimes, but nothing could have prepared me for what happened at the center.
What happened?
For some time now, my friends have blamed the center's original construction workers for the tragedy, since it was their very own Christmas tree that had started the whole tradition. But the truth is that their tree brought joy and wonder to the public. It was my tree, and my tree alone, that brought about the unprecedented loss.
So were you talking about that special tree? Or just one of the trees? And what's the center? Is the center where that tree is? Are you talking about the center of the tree?
On a cold December morning in Midtown Manhattan, Rockefeller's men slowly raised the special tree.
Like, that does look like a fucking Christmas tree to me, bro. Guy's freaking out over tentacles.
By the afternoon, the special tree stood tall and still. It was unlike any other tree, having no color, branches, or leaves. The mayor of New York, Mr. Gardia, thought that the tree was too bare.
Time to put some lights on it.
For branches to be added so that ornaments could be hung. Mr. Rockefeller didn't agree. He thought the tree was perfect, just the way it was.
Mr. Rockefeller's got some fucking screws
Gardia
loose.
had been one of his best friends Mr. Rockefeller told his men to glue some branches on.
Okay.
I, Virginia, watched as the men placed branches on the special tree. I had saved my money for over 9 months to purchase a little star ornament because I wanted to be the very first person to decorate the Rockefeller.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out.
It laid in my pocket while I watched because I planned to hang my ornament as soon as the tree was standing. After the final branch had been added and all the men left, I quickly ran up to the tree. But to my astonishment, the lowest branch of the tree was over twice.
No shit!
I jumped as high as I could, but still, the lowest branch was out of my reach. I was very disappointed. I wanted to be the very first person to decorate the tree.
Boo-hoo.
I had no chance. Unless I called my friends. At once, I began counting my friends on my fingers. There was Helen, Charles, Elizabeth, Alice, Joseph, Elsie, Orville, Edith, Olive, and Philip. 10.
Fuck you,
10
Philip.
friends that I could ask for help. Then I realized that 10 friends standing on each other's shoulders could put me at the very top of the Christmas.
Someone's gonna die here,
my
bro.
star could be the first and the tallest.
Yeah.
Without a second to spare, I ran from door to door asking for help. Knock, knock, knock. Helen, are you there? Knock, knock, knock. Charles, are you there? Knock, knock, knock. Elizabeth, are you there? Eventually, I gathered all 10 of my friends at the bottom of the Rockefeller Christmas tree.
Imagine having 10
I
friends
told them my
who
plan
will just show
to
up.
have them all stand on each other and form a ladder for me to climb to
all
the
at
top.
once at the same time.
My friends understood my excitement, and they quickly started to climb onto each other's shoulders. Ow! Helen had stepped on Charles' fingers. Ow! Charles had stepped on Elizabeth's fingers. Ow! Elizabeth had stepped on Alice's
Yeah,
fingers.
lots of ows.
After many groans and tumbles, my friends formed a sturdy ladder, and I began to climb.
That shit does not look sturdy.
My joy grew with every passing face. Before I knew it, I was at the very top, looking down at the tree.
Good for you.
My ladder of friends swayed back and forth, and occasionally felt like it was about to collapse. But I tuned out the movement and focused on the tree.
Just tune out the
Closer,
movement.
friends, closer. Then I secured the metal star at the top of the tree. It was perfect. Hooray! Victory!
If y'all are getting in a car crash and the car starts flipping over and over, just tune out the movement. Just chill, man.
First. Just then, there was a strange sound. The tree began to shake. Its glued branches fell off all at once, and the entire tree
He's going,
slowly
whap!
bent backwards. Soon, the very top of it touched the ground, forming a perfect arc. It was like a very strange rainbow. My heart sank as I saw my star gently slide to the ground from the tree's top. Bolts of lightning then shot out from inside the arc of the tree, producing thunderous booms.
Yeah, y'all kids need to get the fuck out of here.
My friends and me, we all tumbled to the ground and ran in all directions. But the lightning caught up to us. I was blinded by a great white light. I remember when my eyes adjusted, I was in a field of special trees, and I saw...
I'm gonna guess
In a flash, I returned to the street where my friends and I had been struck by the lightning.
half those kids are dead.
We were all on the ground, being attended to by other people. I had scratched my legs badly, and I could see that my friends were also hurt. I looked up at the Rockefeller buildings, and I thought that they looked a little different. The whole street looked a little different, and the special tree was nowhere.
Got up and left. Wow, what the hell? What the hell? All this because of a tree? Because of a Christmas tree. We gotta go through all this bullshit. Alright, Rockefeller, what?
It is only natural for the reader at this point to wonder why the incident has been referred to as a tragedy. There had been no loss of life, and, aside from a few temporary scorch marks on the center, no damage to the surrounding property. I, too, assumed it was a mostly inconsequential event, likely an electrical accident whose effects were exaggerated
Fuck off.
by the children at the scene. I was grateful that every life involved had been spared. A death at the center would have weighed heavily on my mind for some time.
Oh, well, poor you, bruh.
When I encountered the
They're the
results
kids.
of the children's medical examinations, I wished that a death had occurred in place of the unfathomable.
Huh? Huh? Now he's saying he wishes the kids did die? What the fuck happened?
My mom and pa visited me at the hospital, but they looked completely different. Ma looked worried. After she wiped her tears, she asked, "Did you hang your bear at the Rockefeller tree?" I answered, "It wasn't a bear. I was going to hang a star." To which they asked, "What do you mean?" Pa asked, "Where did you get these clothes?" I answered, "These are my clothes, the ones you helped me put on this morning." To which they asked, "What do you mean?" My ma then asked, "Why are there dots all over your face?" I answered, "Those are my
Are we
freckles.
sure these are the
I've
same
had them
parents?
since I was little." To which they asked, "What do you mean?"
This is a parent-child mix-up.
My parents quietly left my bed and talked to my friends' parents. Then they all started to cry and yell. The nurses made them leave, which made me feel better. None of us thought that our real parents had visited, but they all did feel familiar. Orville and Philip were especially shaken. They didn't even share the same last name with their parents. The nurses tried to convince us that those who had visited us were our parents.
What is going on
and
here?
that we would come around to properly greet them after we healed.
I'm sure.
But it was hard to believe.
Yeah.
Whenever I looked out the window, I saw that Manhattan looked different from memory. Mr. Rockefeller himself was kind enough to visit us in the hospital.
Good for him.
He asked us whether we were okay.
Something's up with Mr.
And then
Rockefeller,
after
bro.
some time, he and the nurses began to ask us some very easy questions about American history. With every reply, they would chuckle and shake their heads, until I told Mr. Rockefeller who I thought he was. He chuckled at first, and then became silent, as if the simple fact had deeply affected him. He had asked all my friends a few more questions about himself, and with each answer, he seemed a little more scared. Mr. Rockefeller quietly stood with the nurses for a while, before he wished us a Merry Christmas and left. That evening, the nurses took x-rays of us to make sure we hadn't broken our
Oh,
wrists.
now we're doing that?
Usually, those taking the x-rays are more than happy to show their patients what the pictures looked like. But when I asked to see them, the nurses ignored me. I didn't fall asleep that night. I kept my ear close to the wall to hear what the nurses were saying next door.
What'd they say?
I heard one sentence over and over. Everything's backward. I wonder what they meant by that. I never told my friends because I didn't want to scare them. But I spent
Just
the
feel
rest of the night
around.
with my
Yeah.
hand to my chest, wondering if my heart was ever on the right side.
No, I don't think it's supposed to be there. Yo, I'm over here dying. Maybe my heart's on the wrong side. Maybe that's what this is. I just took a COVID test. It's not COVID. Feels like I'm just... My heart's deflating. My whole chest is collapsing.
For several weeks, the children were kept under observation at the Columbia Presbyterian Hospital. I visited them as soon as I had the chance to.
Let's hear this guy's side of the story.
All the families of these children were deeply unsettled, that they had all independently come to the conclusion their child had been replaced by a doppelganger.
No.
They claimed that these new sons and daughters possessed substantial differences from their real children. The majority of differences involved altered physical attributes and the inability to recognize familiar locations and characters, such as their parents and their homes. Two boys even claimed to have names different to those that their mothers had given them at birth.
Yo, what the fuck?
But of all the discrepancies, the most bizarre was their faulty recollections of notable persons and events. For instance, each of the affected children claimed that I had become the wealthiest man in America through an oil monopoly. It is common knowledge that I did indeed work at an oil refinery in my youth, but to entirely deny my 2 terms as president and insist instead that I had always been a mere philanthropist struck me as being particularly odd. The families were agonized by the children's behavior. Some continue to search for their real children. I support their endeavors, for I do not believe that the children's afflictions were the result of hysteria.
Maybe they got sucked into like an alternate timeline.
Every day, I find myself recollecting the day that I had selected the tree. I have since realized the difficulties involved in the removal of it should have repeatedly discouraged me.
No shit, man.
Discouraged, the families of those children would not be experiencing the anguish that they currently have. Perhaps I never had the opportunity to select another tree. Perhaps I was meant to select that tree regardless of my persistent character. Perhaps we are all trolleys, forced to follow the path of the track to each of our destinations. I take solace in that thought. Or perhaps the tree chose me.
No, bro. That's just so fucking weird. Why would you pick that tree out of all the pretty, beautiful evergreen trees in the forest? You had to go with that one, didn't you? Are we done? Many, including my father, believe that the 1934 Christmas tree vanished. That is untrue. I've seen it wandering in the plaza, and it resembles a man far more than any tree. So is it just one tree? Going like up inside the Liberty statue, on top of the fucking Mount Rushmore. What is this? GE. What am I looking at here? Hello? What? Okay, 2 more, y'all. This next one's called Canyon Crown. Does it have something to do with the Grand Canyon? Let's have a look. Yeah, it does. Get your kicks on Route 66. Hey. Clap with me, y'all. Grand Canyon. Me and my brother deep in thought. Okay, that's what I thought. Now don't jump off. Don't let those intrusive thoughts win. On the side of the canyon. Cause you know that's out. He's gonna fly. Wait a minute. What'd I just say about the intrusive thoughts? Don't let him win. I've never been to the Grand Canyon. Have y'all? Y'all let me know if it's something worth going to. Cause it looks fucking beautiful. Then I saw something really weird. What was that? And where'd your brother go? Don't tell me he flew off. What are we looking at here? Ew. Ew. Something, it made the whole place smell like vinegar? What the hell? That's a disgusting smell, by the way. Like salt and vinegar chips. I don't know how y'all eat that shit. I'm like... not good. Is it making that humming noise too? Is that what that was? Rock on. Will do, buddy. You took all these pictures? Damn. Then I saw it again. This reminded me of Nope. Not gonna lie. Oh my gosh, the side of the cliff scare. Oh, was that something on the side of the cliff? That's something hanging there? Ew! No! Ah! Oh my gosh, y'all. My heart can't do that. Oh no, we're gonna die. Right now, my heart literally can't handle this shit. Mr. Squirrel. That's funny. Nothing else spooky, please. Oh wait, we did a little research. It's called a canyon gallon or a canyon crown. It uses vinegar to shrink its huge head back into its body. My dad said the reason we went on this trip was so we could find his sister Maya. Oh! I think that was Maya. What the fuck? Okay, y'all, the season 1 finale is called Freedom Faller. Let's check it out and see how season 1 wraps up. Part 1, Sculptor. Excerpts from a series of exchanges from 1858. Washington, D.C., Livorno, Italy. Okay, so these are the people who are talking to... I'm guessing this has something to do with the Statue of Liberty. Right? Liberty must stand. Yes, I'll find an artist to bring the statue to life. Okay. Montgomery's talking to Thomas now. Would you provide a design for the statue? Oh, certainly. Well, there we go. A bunch of different designs. They're okay, but can you make her hold a torch? I'll remove the cap and begin to cast. Okay, so this is how they built it. 6 weeks later. Freedom is difficult to cast. Apologies for delays. 3 weeks later. Okay. Is Freedom on her way? Oh. And then nobody ever heard from him again. Mr. Crawford passed away. Monarcha will receive Freedom. Expect arrival in a month. Oh, he passed? I hope he's not inside the damn thing. Right? Part 2, Daughter. Okay. Whose daughter? Not mine. I don't have a daughter. Right? Papa sketches for Freedom are beautiful. She looks like Mama if she was a queen. I asked Papa if he could make a statue that looks like me. He said yes. Okay, 5th of April. Papa went to his studio. I kept asking whether he started working on my statue yet. He just kept smiling. I think he is. Papa's very kind. Very kind of you, Papa. We have not heard from Papa. This has happened before since he likes to work in his studio for a long time, but Mama was very worried today. Oh dear. She left for her studio after she tucked me into bed. She returned home tonight. She went straight to her room. Inspector Zaffino came by. He asked us about Papa and then went to Mama's room. A few minutes later, more men showed up. Mama was crying. She kept yelling. What happened to Papa? She has his eyes. She has his eyes. I was scared. I ran out of the house. I remember Papa telling Mama about how the statue would be put on a ship named Monarca. I went to the docks and found her anchored nearby. Next to the ship were some boxes. She has his eyes? The statue or the girl? Hearts of freedom were in each of the boxes. I crawled into the box. It was empty. I hope to be sent to where Papa is. I feel his spirit around freedom. I'm very hungry. The boxes are tied with rope, so I cannot get out by myself. There's a loud noise in the room, like clay being dragged across the floor. Okay. I can hear ropes being cut and something big coming out of the box. Is it Papa? There are more sounds like wood being broken. Probably that fucking tree. Since the ropes broke, I quickly got out of the box and found some bread and fruit in the room next door. Okay, eat up. Am I wrong? It isn't Papa, but it has his eyes. I'm scared of going in the box again. It made louder sounds yesterday. While I gathered food, I think the men saw me. The box is the only place to hide. Wait, what was that, though? The rope's keeping broken by the thing with Papa's eyes. I'm scared that either it or the men will open my box. I will not write as much because I'm afraid of making noise. I will write again when I am on land. Okay? The thing with Papa's eyes took me today. It held me as it ran through the jungle. Its sword cut hundreds of trees. I could not see much in the dark, but I did see Papa's eyes staring down at me from those metal eyelids. Oh my gosh! We went down a hole and into a deep cave. After it let me down on the ground, it started a fire by hitting its arms against the rocks. It has been sharpening its sword on the rocks for hours now, but it has not ever looked down on its blade. Since I've started writing today, the things with Papa's eyes have been looking at me. Not too closely, I hope. Part 3, Captain. Okay, Captain. Speaking of Captain, what's your favorite cereal? Mine's gotta be Captain Crunch. Or no, Reese's Puffs, bro. Sorry. Oh, what was that? We landed in Gibraltar at dawn. The ship took hours to steer to port. There were many, many holes in the storage room. Each one allowed enormous amounts of water to enter. Without the tar, we would have sunk in 3 days. Yeah, that doesn't look like a lot of room to get through. We opened the crates for customs officers. The crates were empty. Oh, this is the ship that the statue was on and the little girl, right? Interesting. All the crates were empty? Part 4. I was gonna start saying 5 and then I said 4. Part 4.
On April 29th, we received numerous reports regarding a tremendous force that rushed up the rock.
Not the rock.
Tore down hundreds of trees and created several landslides throughout the previous night. One civilian likened the phenomena to the work of a gigantic crazed fella. Due to the sheer number of reports and the high level of concern in the surrounding community, I deployed myself along with 13 officers to the rock in search of an explanation. We discovered that there was indeed a newly forged trail through the dense foliage stretching almost the entire height of the rock. The trail was astonishingly linear, with no bends in the path. The cuts to the trees themselves were precise. The downed trees continued to be warm to the touch, presumably due to the extreme speed of this force.
Damn.
A few fires present along the trail were extinguished by fellow officers as we traversed the rock. The path ended at a large crevice in the ground, which looked to be an entrance to a large underground cavern.
Let's not go inside.
After requesting additional men and equipment, Officer Hadley descended into the crevice.
What a brave fucking soul, bro.
Hadley exclaimed in fright and urged us all to enter. Within the following hour, the majority of us were in the cabin, which appeared to be an undiscovered offshoot of St. Michael's Cave. In the middle of the location stood a plaster model of a tall Greco-Roman statue of a woman. Surrounding this sculpture were the splayed remains of an individual, flattened like a set of clothes. A hollowed-out torso was stretched a quarter of the way up the statue. the sight of which compelled a few of the officers to exit the cavern.
Pussies.
The human remains were collected and sent to the morgue, while the sculpture was cleaned and lifted out. The statue's blade, held in its right hand, matched the cuts present on the downed trees. Despite the fantastical implications of this detail, the Gibraltar police force officially concludes that the work of the crazed fella was nothing more than the result of heavy wind.
Fucking cover up bitches.
During a secondary investigation, a journal was discovered in the cavern.
Oh, good.
The translation of its Italian text is in progress.
Damn. Part 5. Craftsman. Okay. Let's have a look.
Arrives the tight-knit wooden ship. The plaster body is absent. Instead, a tall, wounded woman sleeping in its vessel. Donning a helmet wrapped in a robe. Clutching a sword and a damaged shield. Overheard a conversation with the captain. A violent conflict with freedom at the port in Gibraltar. They tell me inside her is the plaster.
Hell no.
And I walk away, silently believing freedom craved liberation so terribly she tried to take it for herself. But off the ship, she was dragged away. Freedom locked up.
Damn.
Freedom in chains.
Damn.
They tell me I have to take it out of her. So hook, rope, peel.
No.
When it was done, freedom stood motionless. Freedom stood still.
This guy's voice, bruh.
I see the final bronze woman, and I feel as if, maybe even hope, she's only dormant now, and will awaken again.
I sure hope not. I sure hope fucking not. Part 6, Sculpture. The Lincoln one? Not the Anti-Dean Association again. They stormed the Capitol? Sound familiar? Also, it's January 6th. What a fucking coincidence. The Statue of Freedom is shot down by Ada gunfire. Okay. That's a sick last name. Wait, never mind. Y'all, yeah. Wait. Someone put a turret on top of the Capitol? What the fuck? Or what was that? And what did it shoot out of the sky? And what am I supposed to be looking at here? Ew! Okay, enough. What is that? Okay. Lots of screaming. Hi. Freedom Faller. Damn. Well, that was season 1, y'all. You know what? I've got some thoughts. I'll let y'all know my thoughts. But damn, that was kind of insane. I wouldn't, like, I don't know if I would you call that analog horror? I guess you would. It was just so, I've never seen anything else like that, if that makes sense. That was so well done, so flawlessly executed that now I'm gonna like go through my daily life and just subconsciously believe that that is what actually happened in US history. I don't know, man. As always, secret double handshake. I hope you enjoyed this super long episode. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow.